Title: The Curse of the Restaurant. This story takes place in an old and forgotten restaurant in the city. This restaurant was once famous for its exquisite cuisine, but it closed overnight due to a mysterious fire. Over the years, the abandoned building became surrounded by urban legends and horror stories. Our main character, who the story begins with, arrives at the restaurant on a November night, filled with curiosity. Her name is Emily. She's an avid storyteller, and she wants to learn more about the history of this cursed restaurant. As she opens the door to the restaurant, an eerie silence reigns. Inside, Emily discovers that the dates on an old menu couldn't be erased. Those dates pointed to a night years before the night of the fire. Quickly, she uncovers the tragic story of the family who used to own the restaurant. The fire that night had also spread to their home, right next to the restaurant, claiming the lives of everyone. It's said that the spirit of the restaurant's former owner has been wandering there since that date. As Emily delves into historical documents and memories, she realizes that the malevolent energy of the restaurant is growing, and strange occurrences are happening. Chairs move on their own. Whispers and footsteps are heard. It's believed that the spirits are still under the curse of the restaurant. While Emily feels overwhelmed by the malevolent energy of the restaurant, old portraits on the walls seem to be looking at her. She quickly looks out of the window, but the restaurant's door slams shut and locks as she walks in the darkness. She begins to sense the presence of the spirits of the former owners. As terrifying events unfold within the restaurant, Emily searches for a way to survive and escape this haunted place. However, the anger and agony of the spirits make it nearly impossible for her to escape easily. After a night filled with fear and tension, Emily finally manages to escape the restaurant, but she can't summon the courage to write the story of this cursed place after that day. The story ends here. I hope this horror story has given you a good scare and left an impression on you. Title: The Shadowy Restaurant. This story is about a restaurant in New Orleans in the late 1980s, with the title The Shadowy Restaurant. This restaurant was renowned in the city for its gourmet cuisine and atmosphere. However, the restaurant's reputation changed forever on one fateful evening due to a mysterious and horrifying incident. Our main character is Daniel, a young food critic. He was working for a magazine that reviews restaurants and had come to New Orleans to feature this particular restaurant. As he entered the restaurant, the luxurious decor and the buzz of the customers caught his attention. Daniel found the menu to be unusual, featuring mysterious dishes with no descriptions, and the staff remained tight-lipped about the dishes. However, hearing positive reviews about the taste of the food, Daniel felt encouraged. As the dishes were served, both Daniel and the other customers were amazed by the flavors, but alongside the delightful taste, disturbing and eerie occurrences were taking place in the restaurant. Daniel noticed shadowy figures appearing and vanishing, and strange sounds filled the air, while the waitstaff's expressions turned somber. As the night progressed, Daniel and the other customers began to uncover the terrifying secret of the restaurant. They believed that in prison, spirits were lurking beneath the walls of the restaurant. Daniel learned from the elderly owner of the restaurant that these spirits had been cursed during an ancient ritual on the restaurant's opening night. The restless spirits caused nightly horrors in the restaurant, and Daniel and the other customers tried to escape, but the doors seemed locked. The terrifying events within the restaurant led to Daniel and others being trapped inside. The spirits tormented them with terrifying nightmares. Desperately, Daniel and the others began searching for a way to end the curse of the restaurant and release the tormented spirits. However, the shadowy restaurant's curse made it nearly impossible for them to escape. After a night filled with fear and tension, Daniel and the others finally managed to escape the restaurant. But after these horrifying experiences, Daniel couldn't find the courage to write about the restaurant. The story concludes here. I hope this horror story has given you a good scare and left an impression on you. Years ago, there was an old restaurant in a small town. This restaurant was known as Dark Gastronomes among the locals. Here's the eerie story of this restaurant. The owner of the restaurant was an elderly member of a deceased family and the only living relative in town. The restaurant had become the most famous place in town for years, however. Behind this fame lay a dark secret. One night, a local resident started hearing strange sounds while dining at the restaurant. The waiters laughed it off, saying that these sounds were coming from the historic building of the restaurant. However, this visitor felt that the sounds were more than just coming from an old building's attic. The sounds continued to grow, and some customers became uncomfortable with the eerie atmosphere of the restaurant. When things started getting out of control, the townspeople began to avoid going to the restaurant, but this couldn't stop the owner from carrying on with the business. One day, a group of brave young people decided to uncover the dark secrets of the restaurant. They sneaked into the restaurant at night and climbed up to the attic of the old building. There, they found old family albums and memories. These memories reveal that the family had disappeared many years ago and had never actually died. Family members had secretly lived in the attic of the restaurant. Now, the elderly woman who owned the restaurant wanted to return to the town to find peace. For their spirits, the arrival of the young people had finally given her a long-awaited opportunity. Ghosts appeared all over the restaurant, and they pursued the young people. As the young people tried to escape from the restaurant, the ghosts followed them. The doors were closed, the windows were locked, and there seemed to be no way out. Suddenly, the spirit of the restaurant's owner appeared and helped the young people. She told them to leave the town and forget, under the influence of the spirits. The young people left the town and never returned. The restaurant now remained as a dark, haunted house. No one dared to get close to it, and it retained its mystery in the town. This became the real horror story of the Dark Gastronomes restaurant, and the townspeople never went near it again. I hope you enjoy the English version of the story as well.